Morning, pimps and players. It's almost lunch, and I figured I would do a quick little brief rotary tutorial while I'm cutting this bed side down, so that way you can kind of see how I'll run a tool, how I'll work with it and whatnot. To give you the rundown, it's a Makita polisher. I've got a Max Shine backing plate, if you guys can see that. And this is a 3M twisted wool pad running about 15 speed 3, so that's about like 1500, 1600 RPMs. This bedside, I skimmed all of it down to 1500, went and denibbed whatever trash I had in it, and then refined it all out with 3000, and now we're cutting. So, the way that I'll approach a section, rotary buffing, is I'll lay out my bead. You guys can see there's actually lights on the right of me here that are aiming at a 45 degree to the panel and then reflecting back at me. I also, for the sake of the video, have another light. This will be an icon light. I'm gonna put it on that side because I'll probably be looking this way just so you guys can like have visual and whatnot. It's just for cinematic reasons. All I'm gonna do is when I come to pick this product up and spread it out, I'm gonna try to aim to get it. I'm gonna try to pull this bead with a slight tilt across this like upper third half of the pad. So from 10 o'clock to 2 o'clock, I'm gonna try to pull it into that. Slight tilt, lay it down when I get to the end of it, and then I'll spread out from there. And then I'll start working. So, I gotta make another pass because there's still sand scratches here, but to kind of illustrate what I'm doing with the pass is as I'm working the panel, when I'm going left, so what I'm doing is as I'm going left and right, I'm slightly tilting with my wrist to guide the tool to where I need to go. If you've ever used one of these things, if you're not used to it and used to moving or adjusting the tool to where it needs to be smooth across the panel, you know, it'll feel like it wants to just go where it wants to go. And so the way to kind of guide it to where you want to go is using this back wrist here, and I just kind of put a slight tilt on the actual pad of the tool. It's very, very minimal, and if you're paying attention, it's just like that. So as I work this way to go left, I'm actually going to put a right side tilt on my tool. And then when I come back, I'm actually going to let my right side tilt kind of come back down and let my tilt go a little bit left. I'm not fully going left. I'm just kind of letting my pad set back down. And I tilt up. Set back down. Tilt up. checking to see if all my sand scratches are out. They're not. There's still some down here. You can actually probably see it in the lights. So we got to work a little bit down here. So, same concept. Lay it down. Pull. And it really helps to follow the tool with your body instead of just moving your arms. I do see a lot where there's almost just there's no movement with intention. Especially if you're newer to this, make your body one with the tool. Wherever that tool goes, you go, you follow it. So now that I've got my defects out, whenever I go in to refine on my halos using a microfiber and a DA pad, this should almost all clear up. And the only thing we should see is the lights. We won't see a halo, we won't have sand scratches. If you did everything right in this first step and all you have is your halos remaining, then you'll have everything set up just fine. So some guys might not be comfortable with twisted wool because it is such a large pad. There are smaller pads that are twisted wool. I'm a fan of twisted wool because I think it cuts the fastest. But some of you guys might find better success with a pad like this when you're first starting out. That kind of like, this is a Rupes pad. They don't make them like this anymore. They changed them up, but the Rupes cut and finish wool pad, the Lake Country Lambs wool pad, those pads right there are good for guys who are learning, who are picking up on the Rotary. And I mean, I still use them. They're not just a beginner pad. I mean, they're very effective because I like them for when I'm trying to sneak up on these edges here and I'm tracing out my precision work. And you'll see also, this just cleans up my halos really nicely before I even go to my DA step. And they still have great defect removal. So if you're not comfortable with twisted wool and you want, I think smaller diameter is a really good way to pick up the mechanics of this tool and get comfortable using this tool before you jump up to a bigger diameter, if you feel like that's what you need to do. So I'll drop like 2 beads here, blow out my pad. And it's the same principle and mechanic as what we were just talking about. Pull it off. So they're just a little bit better. See how it allows me to get up on those edges. And these edges were good for the most part, but it'll let me get it a bit better. I don't know how well it's gonna show it. You see how there's still some hook marks up here? It's kind of going in and out of focus. See how there's still some hook marks there? That's what we want to remove. You can see them here. But once we get into here, that's really what we want. minus the holograms that are remaining. I'm going to show you how I like to get them out. Rupes 21 mil machine, right here. We're going to use this with a microfiber pad, and you can go a couple ways with it. You can use the same cutting compound you use. You could use a medium polish like I'm about to use. This is actually the Rupes DA fine polish. You could use both of them if you wanted. There's a few ways you can go about this, but the idea is we want to be aggressive enough to cut this down, but we also still want to be able to finish it out to where we can move into a finishing step really easy. So I'm going to start with just a medium polish in this and see if it gets me the results I want. If this paint ended up being like a lot harder and my medium polish really ain't doing shit, I'll upgrade to a compound.